The contract. The email arrives at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I'm staring at spreadsheets, 3 monitors glowing in my downtown apartment, when my phone lights up. Not a text, an actual email. From Maya. Subject line. Time for a change. Start icon. My stomach drops before I even open it. Hey sis, so I've been doing a lot of soul searching lately and I've made a huge decision. I'm quitting my job. I know, but hear me out. This marketing coordinator position is literally killing my spirit. Every day I wake up and feel this weight, like I'm suffocating under fluorescent lights and deadlines that don't even matter in the grand scheme of things. Brett and I have been talking, and we both agree that life is too short to be miserable. I need time to figure out what I actually want to do. Maybe get my yoga certification, or finally start that lifestyle blog. The universe has been sending me signs, and I'm finally ready to listen. The thing is, I'll need a little help getting through this transition period. Just temporarily. Maybe 6 months, max. If you could cover my rent and expenses, it's only like $3,200 a month, plus food and stuff for me, Brett, and Cosmo. It would literally change my life. You make good money, and I know you're not really spending it on much anyway, LOL. I'm putting in my 2 weeks tomorrow. So excited to finally live authentically. Love you. Heart emoji. Maya. I read it 3 times. Then I read it again. My hands are shaking. Not from anger. Not yet. From something else. Something that feels like recognition. Like watching a crack appear in a windshield and knowing with absolute certainty that the whole thing is about to shatter. $3,200 a month. For 6 months. For Maya, her boyfriend who hasn't held a job for more than 4 months at a time, and their Bolden Doodle. The apartment is silent except for the hum of my computer. I'm 32 years old. I've been working since I was 16. Coffee shops during high school, work-study in college, unpaid internships that led to paid ones, climbing methodically up the corporate ladder in data analytics. I make $140,000 a year now. It sounds like a lot. It isn't. Not really. Not after taxes and retirement contributions, and the student loans I'm still paying off, and the apartment in a city where everything costs double what it should. But Maya doesn't know that. Nobody in my family knows that. They just know I have a good job, that I live in a nice apartment, that I must be doing well. I don't respond. Not at 11:47 p.m. Not when my hands are shaking and my throat is tight, and I can't quite name what I'm feeling. Instead, I close my laptop and sit in the darkness, listening to the sound of traffic 17 floors below. The phone starts ringing at 8:15 a.m. Mom. I'm in a meeting. I let it go to voicemail. She calls back immediately. Then again. Then my dad calls. Then Maya. I excuse myself, step into an empty conference room, and call my mother back. Sweetheart, did you see Maya's email? Her voice is bright, excited. This should be my first morning. I saw it. Isn't it wonderful? I'm so proud of her for being brave enough to prioritize her mental health. You know how stressed she's been. Maya has been stressed for approximately the last decade. Every job is too demanding. Every boss is toxic. Every workplace is draining her life force. Mom, she wants me to give her $19,000. Well, not give, just help, temporarily. Maya, she just needs time to find herself, and you're in such a good position to help. We're so grateful you've done well for yourself. There it is, that phrase, done well for yourself, as if my salary appeared through luck or magic rather than 80-hour weeks and 7 years of grinding. I can't afford to support 3 people and a dog for 6 months. Silence. Then, can't or won't. The words hit like a slap. You have that nice apartment, she continues. You must be making good money. Maya is family. This is what family does. We support each other. I support myself, Mom. That's what I do. You know what I mean. Don't be difficult. Your father and I would help, but we're living on fixed income now. You're the only one who can. The call ends badly.
I don't agree to anything, but I don't say no clearly enough. My mother hears what she wants to hear, that I'll think about it, which she will interpret as eventual compliance. I've always been the one who complies. Maya calls during lunch. So, Mom said you're being weird about this? Maya, I can't give you $19,000. It's not giving, you'd just be helping me get through a transition. And it's not like you'd never see it again. Once I get the blog going, or whatever I end up doing, I'll totally pay you back. She won't. We both know she won't. But I'm supposed to pretend we don't know this. Why can't Brett get a full-time job? God, you sound just like Dad. Brett is an artist. He needs flexibility. He's working on his music. Brett is 35. His music consists of SoundCloud tracks with 47 plays. What about your savings? She laughs, actually laughs. What savings? Do you know how expensive it is to live? I do know. I know exactly. That's why I have savings. That's why I haven't quit a job without another one lined up. That's why I don't have a boyfriend who needs flexibility or a dog that requires grain-free organic food. I can't do this, Maya. Can't? Really? Because Mom looked up average salaries for data analysts and… Stop right there. My voice is sharp enough that the coworker at the next table glances over. My salary is not community property. What I make is not relevant to what you're asking. Wow. Okay, so you're just gonna let me suffer because you're selfish with money you don't even need? I need it because it's mine, because I earned it, because I'm not going to be broke at 50 because I funded everyone else's bad decisions. Bad decisions? Are you serious right now? I'm trying to take care of my mental health. Then see a therapist, join a gym, take a vacation. Don't quit your income and ask me to pay for your lifestyle. She hangs up. Within the hour, I have texts from my dad, my aunt, Maya's best friend, and somehow my cousin in Portland. The message is consistent. I am being selfish. I'm forgetting where I came from. I'm cold. I'm letting success change me. Family is supposed to come first. Nobody asks if I'm okay. Nobody asks if this is hard for me. Nobody asks what I want. The formal request comes 3 days later. My father emails me a PDF. The subject line is just my name, Jessica. It's a contract, an actual legal contract that someone, probably my uncle who did 2 years of law school before dropping out, has drafted. Financial support agreement, it reads at the top. The terms, I will provide $3,200 monthly for 6 months, renewable if Maya hasn't secured alternative income. I will be listed as guarantor on her apartment lease. I will cover any emergency expenses that arise during this period. Total commitment, $150,000, once you factor in the renewals and contingencies and the vague language about what constitutes an emergency. At the bottom, signature lines. Maya's, my father's as a witness, and mine. The email from my dad is brief. Jessica, we've formalized the arrangement to make everyone comfortable. This protects you too, ensures Maya pays you back once she's on her feet. My mother and I really hope you'll do the right thing here. Sign it at dinner Sunday. We'll all be there. Love, Dad. I read it in my office. Professional, successful, alone. I read it again. They have drawn up a contract, a legal document obligating me to fund my sister's unemployment while she finds herself and her boyfriend works on his music. They expect me to sign it on Sunday, in front of everyone, surrounded by family members who will watch, who will judge, who will pressure and guilt and manipulate until I put pen to paper. I close my laptop. I don't cry. Not yet. Instead, I feel something else. A clarity so sharp, it's almost painful. I am not their daughter. I am their resource. I am not a person with needs, dreams, limits. I am a bank account with legs, an ATM that will eventually learn to smile and say, of course, and anything for family, and absorb the loss because that's what good daughters do. The thing is, I've known this for years.
maybe since college when I was the only one who had to take loans because my parents spent their savings putting Maya through state school and she needed their help more. Maybe since my 25th birthday when I got a card and Maya got a car. Maybe since every Christmas when I brought expensive gifts and received drugstore candles in return. Because you have money, you understand. I've known it. I just haven't named it. Naming it changes everything. I don't go to dinner on Sunday. I call in sick, stomach bug, very apologetic. My mother's voice is ice. We'll need your signature by Monday, Jessica. Maya's landlord needs the guarantor paperwork filed. I need more time to think. There's nothing to think about. This is family. Then the family will understand that I need time. I hang up before she can respond. Monday comes. I don't send the contract. My phone explodes with messages. Hurt, angry, confused. Maya is crying, my mother reports. Maya might have to move back home. Maya's mental health is deteriorating, and this is all my fault. I turn my phone off. Tuesday, I email my manager. Are there any openings in the Dublin office? The interview happens fast. They need someone with my skills. They're impressed by my initiative. The role is actually a promotion, senior analyst, small team, higher salary to offset the cost of living. They ask when I could start. 2 weeks, I say. They blink. That's soon? I'm ready for a change. I am offered the job on Thursday. I accept on Friday. I give notice on Monday. I don't tell my family. My mother calls on Tuesday evening. I answer because I know I have to, eventually. Jessica, what is going on? Maya's landlord is threatening to evict her without a guarantor, and you've just disappeared. I can't sign the contract, Mom. Can't or won't. We've been through this. Can't. I'm moving to Dublin in 10 days. Silence. Complete, shocked silence. You're... What? I accepted a job in Ireland. I'm relocating. You can't do that. You can't just leave. I can. I am. But Maya is an adult. She made a choice. I'm making mine. This is unbelievably selfish. Maybe. Or maybe it's the first healthy boundary I've set in my entire life. My voice is calm. I'm surprised by how calm it is. There's no anger, no bitterness, just clarity. If you do this, my mother says, her voice shaking, you'll regret it. Family doesn't abandon family. You're right, I say quietly. They don't. They also don't draw up contracts forcing their children to fund each other's lifestyles. They don't treat love like a transaction. We're not. I love you, Mom. I love Maya. But I can't set myself on fire to keep everyone else warm. I won't. Jessica! I have to go. I have packing to do. This time when I cry, it's not from sadness. It's from relief. The last 10 days are chaos. My family tries everything. Guilt. How can you do this to your sister? Anger. You've always thought you were better than us. Bargaining. What if we asked for less? What if it's just 3 months? Fear. Maya might hurt herself. This is on you. I stay calm. I repeat the same phrases. I can't do this. This isn't my responsibility. I love you, but no. Maya leaves a voicemail at 2 a.m., drunk crying, telling me I've ruined her life. My father sends an email listing all the ways they sacrificed for me growing up. My mother tries the silent treatment, then breaks it with desperate calls about how I'm destroying the family. I block. I mute. I set boundaries that should have existed 20 years ago. My friends, the ones outside the family vortex, are unanimous. Get out. Go. This is insane. My therapist in an emergency session says, you're not abandoning them. You're choosing yourself. There's a difference. I book movers. I sell furniture. I pack my life into boxes marked Dublin. I sign a different contract. The one for my new job. The one that will pay me more in a country where nobody expects me to fund their life choices. the one that represents freedom. I leave on a Wednesday morning. My flight is at 9 a.m. I wake at 5, check my empty apartment one final time, and get in the Uber to JFK. My phone buzzes. Maya. Against my better judgment, I open it. I can't believe you're actually doing this. Mom says you're on your way to the airport. Do you even care that I had to take my job back? That I'm humiliated? That everyone knows my sister abandoned me? You think you're so much better than us. You're not. You're just someone who ran away when things got hard, when family needed you. I hope you're happy alone. I read it twice. Then I type, I'm not running away. I'm choosing peace. I hope someday you understand the difference. I love you. I don't add anything else. No justification, no apology, no defense. I send it, then put my phone in airplane mode. The flight is long. I sleep through most of it. The first real sleep I've had in weeks. I wake somewhere over the Atlantic, suspended between continents, between the life I'm leaving and the one I'm moving toward. I think about Maya, taking back her job. I feel a twist of guilt, then let it go. She's not suffering, she's embarrassed. There's a difference. She still has income, housing, her boyfriend, her dog. She has everything she had before she decided to quit. She just doesn't have my money. I think about my parents, angry and hurt. They'll forgive me eventually, maybe, or they won't. Either way, I can't control it. I can only control my response. Calm, firm, consistent boundaries. Love without martyrdom. I think about the contract they drafted. That absurd, audacious document that somehow thought it could obligate my bank account because we share DNA. And I think about the contract I signed instead. The one that takes me away from all of this. The one that lets me breathe. Dublin is gray and green when I land. Rain mists against the terminal windows. Everything smells like damp earth and possibility. I have an apartment waiting. Small, perfect, mine. I have a job that challenges me. I have a city to explore, a life to build, space to figure out who I am when I'm not being drained by other people's needs. I have myself back. That night, in my new apartment with its bare walls and borrowed furniture, I get a text from an unknown number. For a moment, panic. Did they somehow find my new number? But it's from my friend Rachel, who helped me pack. She sent a photo. My old apartment building, lights on in the windows where new tenants already live. Your old life, she writes, already being lived by someone else. Proud of you. I smile. Then I text back. The strongest thing I ever said was a silent no. She responds immediately. Correction, the strongest thing you ever did was mean it. Weeks pass, then months. I don't hear from Maya. My mother sends occasional emails, chatty, surface level, never mentioning the contract or my betrayal. My father friends me on Facebook, nothing happened. They're pretending it's fine because admitting otherwise would mean acknowledging the truth. The truth is, they needed me to stay small, to stay obligated, to stay guilty. They needed me to believe that love equals sacrifice, that family means erasing yourself, that boundaries are betrayal. But love, real love, doesn't require you to destroy yourself. Family, healthy family, doesn't demand financial contracts and emotional hostage taking. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors that swing both ways. People can choose to respect them and stay, or refuse and leave. Either way, I'm okay. I'm more than okay. 6 months into Dublin, I get a letter. Actual postal mail, forwarded from my old address. It's from Maya. My hand shakes as I open it. But it's not angry. It's different. Jess, I know we're not talking. I'm not expecting you to write back. But I wanted you to know You were right. I took back my job. I hated you for it at first, but then something changed. My manager offered me a promotion, more responsibility, more money. I took it. And I realized I actually like the work when I'm not treating it like a prison. Brett and I broke up. He said I was becoming too corporate. I said he was becoming too comfortable with my rent checks. It wasn't pretty. Mom and Dad are still mad at you. They probably will be for a while. But I'm not. Not anymore. What you did, leaving, it wasn't abandonment. It was the hardest, bravest thing I've ever seen anyone do. You showed me what having standards looks like, what self-respect looks like. I'm learning. Maybe someday we can talk. Maybe not. But I wanted you to know I get it now. Love, Maya. I read it 3 times, tears streaming down my face. She gets it. Maybe not completely, maybe not yet, but she's starting to understand, and that's enough. I'm sitting in a cafe in Temple Bar, rain streaming down the windows, when a colleague asks me why I moved to Dublin. I could tell her the truth, the contract, the family drama, the escape. But instead, I say, I wanted a fresh start. She nods. Good for you. Fresh starts are underrated. They really are. That night, I write in my journal, something I started doing in therapy, something that helps me process. Today, someone asked why I left. I didn't tell them about the contract or the family drama, because that's not the story anymore. The story is, I chose myself. I chose peace over performance. I chose dignity over obligation. I chose freedom over obligation. The strongest answer I ever gave was a silent no. Not loud, not dramatic, just firm. I signed a contract, but it was mine. For my life. On my terms. And that made all the difference. A year later, I'm thriving, promoted again, traveling, making friends, dating someone kind who respects boundaries and doesn't think my salary is community property. My mother and I talk monthly now. Surface level still, but warming. My father sends articles he thinks I'll like. Maya and I text occasionally, brief, careful, but genuine. The family learned to exist without my money. Turns out they could all along. They just needed to be forced to try. And me? I learned that love without boundaries is not love. It's consumption. That family without reciprocity is not family. It's exploitation. That sacrifice without choice is not noble. It's martyrdom. I learned that sometimes the strongest answer is silence. Not avoidance, not passivity, but a calm, clear, unshakable refusal to negotiate your worth. I could have stayed. I could have signed that contract, drained my accounts, funded Maya's journey, and emerged broke and resentful and applauded for my generosity. Instead, I left. I signed a different contract, one that honored my work, my worth, my right to my own life. And in doing so, I didn't just save my money. I saved myself. The rain has stopped. Dublin gleams wet and silver in the evening light. I'm walking home from work, past pubs and bookshops, past strangers who don't know my history, or my family, or the weight I used to carry. My phone buzzes. A photo from Rachel. She's printed out that text I sent her. The strongest thing I ever said was a silent no, and framed it. For my office, she writes. Daily reminder. I smile. The strongest answer isn't always loud. It isn't always clear. It isn't always understood. But it's always yours. And sometimes, that's enough. Sometimes it's everything.